Hi, I'm Maryjo with Fourth Dimension Healing and also the Director of the Center for Crystalline Healing Studies. I'd like to take a few minutes today to talk with you about Shungite. Now, Shungite is a stone that is remarkable at helping to shield us from electromagnetic frequency distortions and disruptions that can interfere with our own physical body, our energy body, as well as our environment. Shungite is a very old stone. It's over 2 billion years old and comes from the northern regions of Russia in a community and region known as Karelia. Now, I find it quite interesting that Shungite contains virtually all the minerals that are contained within our periodic table, as we know of at this time, and also that it is carbon-based. It is filled and created with a form of carbon known as fullerenes, and fullerenes are a particular geometric shape of carbon where the molecules almost create spheres or more like column hollow spaces. And while most of the carbon that is found on the earth comes from organic matter, I find it so interesting that Shungite predates organic matter on our planet. So there's some mystery around exactly how Shungite formed. I like working with Shungite in a couple of ways. One is to either wear it or carry it in my pocket or meditate with it so that I can learn from it and it can immerse its frequencies in my energy field. And another way I like to work with it is to keep it nearby me and have it perhaps next to my computer or next to my television or near my cell phone where we have a preponderance of electromagnetic frequency discharge coming off of those particular devices. So I have a few types of Shungite that I'd like to talk with you about so that you can have a better understanding of certainly some of the different ways you can explore and obtain Shungite, but then also you can have an example of seeing a few of the different types of Shungite that I carry in my online shop. So one of the things that I find fascinating about Shungite is that it can be shaped. Here is a pyramid that is made out of what's known as regular Shungite. And with pyramids and spheres, you can get it in cube shapes as well. Not only does it provide electromagnetic frequency protection nearby us, but depending on the size of the pyramid or the sphere, it can emanate out and has a radius of protection. And so protection can range from perhaps a meter all the way out to 5 or 6 or even greater meters out. So this particular piece easily goes out about 5 meters in all directions, sending out these abilities, these frequencies that help to support that shielding of electromagnetic frequency disruptions. Here is an example of a sphere. Again, this is regular Shungite. Regular Shungite, I would say, tends to have about 45–48% carbon. And so it is a dense form of Shungite. It can be shaped, it can be manipulated. I sometimes even carry little statues in various shapes of Shungite as well. This sphere, for example, would also radiate out probably about 4 meters, 3 to 4 meters out. Here is a smaller sphere, again, regular Shungite. Regular Shungite is dense enough that it can be shaped. And this would be a little bit smaller radius, perhaps a couple meters, maybe 1.5 meters. So you can see that having even small pieces near your computer, near your television, perhaps somewhere on your desk at work, can be a way to clear the environment out of much of the distortions that come from any of the electronics, not to mention the lighting and the telephones, all kinds of electronics that we're experiencing in our lives. Here is a small pyramid. This would dissipate out a radius of about 1.5 to 2 meters out in all directions. Again, clearing the space. Now, this is regular shungite that's been shaped in a particular form. You can also get free-form shungite that's regular. It's actually a fairly light stone. While it looks dense, it actually is not particularly dense. This is a sort of stone that could be easily slipped in a pocket, perhaps next to a bedside table, or slipped underneath a pillowcase to be able to engage with the frequencies of that stone while you're resting, and then perhaps not necessarily carrying it with you throughout the day. Shungite is a stone that resonates with the earth element, so it's very helpful in grounding. It is really helpful for us to be able to connect with the earth, not only to get a sense of being able to be really present to where we are and what's arising in our lives, but also it is a way to be able to connect with the earth so that we can discharge some of our extra surplus energy that's in the process of being cleared out. Because we're constantly receiving energy in and releasing energy back out to the earth, where the earth, in the earth's wisdom, in divine order, is able to recreate any of the energies that we've released and turn that back into vital life force energy for its next cycle. Here's another example of a piece of regular shungite. This one almost is a heart-shaped, isn't it? That's kind of fun. Now there's another form of shungite also. It's known as noble or elite shungite. And I'm going to show you it. Now this is very light. Elite or noble shungite contains maybe 98% pure carbon. So it's very, very effective in shielding electromagnetic frequency imbalances. It's also very fragile, and so you are not going to be able to find a sphere of elite shungite because it simply would not be able to tolerate the polishing. You won't even find a piece of tumbled elite shungite because, again, it would not be able to tolerate the rough and tumble work that goes on within a rock tumbler. One of the things that I often do is I have a piece of elite shungite that is attached to a cord, and I often will wear that. And while it is shungite, it does not leave any kind of a mark at all on skin. And even I have noticed that sometimes I'll have pieces of elite shungite that have broken off from another piece, and maybe they are maybe 3 millimeters or so, or 4 millimeters, maybe a centimeter. Those still can be very effective by placing those around computers or around areas where there is a lot of electromagnetic clutter. So when working with shungite, again, remember there are a couple different ways that you can do it. One is you can work with it through meditation, through carrying it in your pocket, being very intentional with working it as a personal healing stone, and then also expanding your work with shungite to bringing it out into some of the pieces that may be able to sit in your living room, looking as if it's this beautiful little structure or a pyramid, and yet it's emanating out those frequencies that counter the electromagnetic frequency distortions that are really very, very prevalent in our world today. So if you're interested in taking a look at any of the shungite that I carry in my shop, you can go ahead and check out that link below this video. Also, if you're interested in learning how to work more intentionally with specific gemstones and crystals, you can check out my Center for Crystal and Healing Studies, where I have both fee-based and free mini courses that you can explore more around crystal healing. And also, if you take a look at some of the other videos I have here on my YouTube channel, I do talk about Shungite in some of the other videos as well, particularly as they relate to earth, element, and grounding types of stones. Because Shungite is a stone that works very well with the earth element, it is really effective when working with physical health, with emotional and mental health types of healing that we're doing, because all of those really pertain to life as we know it right now on our planet. And it's sometimes kind of challenging, especially when we are dealing with the pandemic, when we're dealing with lots of social unrest. Having a stone that is very helpful for grounding can be very, very, very beneficial in your healing work. So if you have questions, you can always send me an email. My email also is below this video. And also you can visit my web page, visit my shop if you want to take a look at the various types of Shungite I carry and learn more about it. And then also, if you have questions, you can also send me a chat right through my web page, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you think that this particular video would be helpful for anyone else, feel free to share it. And if you would like to be updated as to when I post new videos, go ahead and just sign up, and you'll be one of the first to know when that happens. So I wish you well with your healing of body, mind, spirit. And in this time, I would also add, and your environment, by bringing in the work of Shungite and partnering with Shungite. Be well.